Now we'll start looking at all about data. So as we are studying the subject which is related to data, and the data is the crux for this data science and machine learning and deep learning and big data analytics. So data is everywhere. The only thing is we should know about the data, then we should know how to learn from the data, we should know how to get information from the data, and these are the most important tasks related to data. So let's see the basics about the data. So as we have already seen, the data can be classified into three different ways: the structured data, unstructured data, and semi-structured data. From the example also, the image which has been displayed on the screen, we can see the structured data is the one which is in the form of the table, rows and columns. Unstructured data is the one which doesn't have any fixed format. Correct. And the semi-structured data is the one which it is the mix of unstructured and structured data. So these are the types of the data. Let's see a difference between the structured, semi-structured and unstructured data. So if we go to the factor of flexibility, the structured data is dependent and less flexible. The semi-structured data is more flexible than structured but less flexible than the unstructured data. And unstructured data is flexible in a nature, and there is an absence of a schema. Moving to the factor of the transaction management, the mature transaction and the various concurrency techniques are used for the structured data. So we have well-defined transactions and the concurrency techniques when we go for the structured data. The transaction is adapted from DBMS but not matured in the case of the semi-structured. And when we move to the unstructured data, no transaction management, no concurrency is available for handling the semi-structured data. Every time for every unstructured data, we need to develop a logic to access or to make a transactions between the data. So every time we have the different logic, different patterns for the unstructured data. If we check the query performance, the structured query allows a complex joining. The queries over the anonymous nodes are possible in semi-structured data, and only textual query is possible in the case of unstructured data. If we think about the technology, this structured data is based on the relational database table. Semi-structured data is based on the RDF and XML, and this unstructured data is based on the character and library data. So this is all about the relationship between or the differences between the structured, semi-structured and unstructured data. And now we will move to the important topic, which is my data collection topic, right? This is something new for all of us. So what is data collection? The data collection is a process of collecting, measuring, and analyzing different types of information using a set of standard validated techniques. Fine. So the main objective of the data collection is to gather the information, rich and reliable data, and analyze them to make a critical business decision. So once the data is collected, it goes through a rigorous process of data cleaning and processing to make this data truly useful for the business. So this is all about why, what is a data collection, right? Now data collection has two methods, the primary data collection method and the secondary data collection method. So let's look at this primary data collection method. Very interesting. Primary data refers to the data collected from first-hand experience directly from the machine main source, right? So it refers to data that has never been used in the past. So the data gathered by the primary data collection methods are generally regarded as the best kind of a data in the research. Even we will be able to divide this primary data into two types. One is a quantitative, another is a qualitative. Now the word quantitative, it focuses on the factors that can be counted, and the qualitative deals with the factor that not necessarily numerical in the nature. The qualitative can be you can have see the quantitative data is age. So my age is we always give in the numbers, but for the qualitative data we can say the complexion of a person. right? So it can be fair, it can be dark, it can be whitish, it can be something else, right? So that is my qualitative data. Understood, all of you? So quantitative refers to values. The values means when I say milk borrowed every day, or I say that marks obtained by students. So all this is my quantitative data. But when I go to the qualitative data, I will be saying that the performance of the student in examination. I will be saying that performance of an institute for overall development, whether good, bad, or average. So like this is my qualitative data, correctly? So it is not always necessary to be in a numbers in the nature. Fine. So let's look at some primary data collection methods. So this primary data collection method first is interviews. Then we have observations, surveys and questionnaires, focus groups, and oral histories. If we say about the interviews are a direct method of a data collection. It is simply a process in which the interviewer asks questions and the interviewee responds to them. It provides a high degree of flexibility because the questions can be adjusted and changed anytime according to the situation. In an observation, generally the researchers observe a situation around them and record the findings. Right? So it can be used to evaluate the behavior of a different people in the controlled and uncontrolled situation. For example, for the case of observations, if we go to the psychiatric, generally psychiatrists ask multiple questions, but with that they make observations also, and observations are also recorded as a findings, which will give them better insight about the patient. Correct. So observations is key parameter if we take a cases of a psychology or a psychiatrist. In a similar manner, if we go to the any doctor, right, a skin doctor, you can say skin specialist. So what does the skin specialist do? It is not the case that only it asks the question or it takes the interview, right? They even observe your skin and make them some observations also, or record some observations also. Even in the class, what we generally do, in the class also, the teacher not only asks the question, they observe you, right? Even similarly in oral examination, we not only ask you the question, we make the observations also. The observations can be, is student copying from anywhere, is the student getting prompted by other friends, and like this, right? Even we can have an example like a person looks at a random people that walks their pets on the busy street and then uses this data to decide whether or not to open a pet food store in that area. So this is what is my observation, example related to observation. Then we have surveys and questionnaires. So surveys and questionnaires provide a broad perspective from the large group of people. So they can be conducted face to face, mailed, or even posted on the internet to get a response from the anywhere in the world. The way we take feedback from you, so that is again a survey or the questionnaire. So for every session which happens, every external session which happens in the college, we generally collect the feedback. So where does that feedback help us? That feedback help us for arranging those sort of the event in the future. Correct. If the feedback from the students is not good, we may not arrange those sort of sessions in near future. Correct. So this is what is my surveys and questionnaires. Then we have the focus groups. This focus group is also similar to interviews, but it is conducted with a group of people who all have something in a common. So data collected in a similar to in-person interviews, but they offer a better understanding of why a certain group of people thinks in a particular way. So this focus group mainly focuses on interviewing the group of people, right? So however, some drawbacks of this method are lack of privacy, domination of the interviews by one or two participants, like this. So the focus groups is like when there is a group of people and we take a poll from the group of people, that can be a focus group. So group question is asked to group of people and then opinion is taken out. The way we take a TG meetings, right? So that can be the example of a focus groups. And then we have the oral histories. Oral histories also involve asking the questions like interviews and focus groups. However, it is defined more precisely and data is collected is linked to a single phenomenon. So it involves collecting the opinions and personal experiences of a people in a particular event that they were involved in. Okay, so this is how we take the oral information, oral histories from the students. So for example, it can help in studying the effect of new product in a particular community, where we can take the opinion from the particular community. So these are different methods for data collection, different primary data collection methods. Okay, again I will repeat, this primary data collection is a fresh data collected, right? This data is mostly used in for the research, and there are different methods for this primary data collection. They are interviews, observations, surveys and questionnaires, focus groups and oral histories.